Consider the following formula. Which of the following statements is true for this formula? To find the relationship between b and a, and thus find our correct answer among these options, we're going to need to graph this function. And to do that, we'll need to label our axes as b and a. Usually our x-axis, or x variable, is our cause variable, and our y variable is our effect variable. So if we look at all of our answer choices, we can see that something is always happening to A to cause an effect in B, which would mean A is our cause variable, B is our effect variable, and we can label our axes accordingly. We can say our y-axis is B and our x-axis is A. And now we can look for our B and A intercepts, or our x and y intercepts. Let's start by finding our x-intercept, where y equals 0. Or where b equals 0. b plus 12 equals negative 6a. We're going to plug in 0 for b. So we'll have 0 plus 12 equals negative 6a. 0 plus 12 is just 12 equals negative 6a. Negative 6 is being multiplied to a, so the opposite operation would be dividing both sides by negative 6. And 12 divided by negative 6 will give us negative 2. So our first intercept is going to be negative 2, comma, 0. Then our second intercept, our y-intercept, where x equals 0, or in this case where a equals 0, we're going to have b plus 12 equals negative 6a, and we're going to plug in 0 for a. We have negative 6 times 0, which will just give us 0. Then 12 is being added here, so we can do the opposite and subtract 12 from both sides. These will cancel, leaving us with b equals negative 12. So our second coordinate point will be 0, comma, negative 12. Here I've got my two intercepts plotted. We had negative 2, comma, 0, which means I go to the left by 2. Each one of these units is counting in 2's, by the way. And I went up and down 0. Then for 0, comma, negative 12, I went to the left and right 0 and went down by 12. So now we can analyze this graph. If we start with our x-intercept and we look to the left of our intercept, or everything that's less than a equals negative 2, right? Everything less than a being negative 2, all of these b values or y values are going to be positive. So let's write a statement that says when a is less than 2, negative 2, b is positive. And then on the other side, when we have all of the values that are greater than a equals 2, we have nothing but negative b values that are below the x-axis. So we can say when a is greater than negative 2, b is negative, and that will help us find our answer. So let's look at answer choice A. If a is greater than negative 6, 2, 4, 6, then b is positive. Well, let's estimate where that would be on the graph. Let's say it's here. Everything greater than this point on the graph would be positive until we get to this point. Once we cross over that, then we have nothing but negative values, which would make answer choice A incorrect. Answer choice B, if a is less than negative 2, b is positive. Well, that is one of our statements that we made, right? If a is less than negative 2, b is positive, and that is true. All of these points to the left of a equals negative 2 will be positive infinitely. So that makes B our correct answer. Now let me show you why C and D are incorrect. C says if A is less than 2, positive 2, B is positive. Well, let's see where that is on the graph. That would be way down here. Less than would be to the left, and all of these values so far are negative until we hit this point right here, and then we would have positive B values. So that makes C incorrect. D says if a is greater than negative 6, right here, then b is negative. Again, when we are greater than negative 6, we are starting positive and then becoming negative. We're not negative or positive the whole time, which means D is incorrect, and B is our correct answer.